Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. As you can see, I've been playing around a little bit with train tracks because I think it is time in this episode to hook up our base to a train network and get a bit of a train network going here. So we've got, basically our train depot will be way down here. And I've decided... There we go. Just make sure we don't fall to our death. I've decided that the trains are going to come out this side and they'll go in the opposite side. So then what we can do is bring them up to the level of the skyway using one of these spirally thingies. And I'll show you how to build this in a minute. And also it's important to keep in mind that the rail tracks actually count as an electrical, a power source. So as long as you're near the rail tracks, you can fly around using the hover pack like I am right now. You'll notice there's no other power poles or anything like that over here. So that's pretty useful. But let's just go throw those on. So if we come over here, what's going to happen is, as I said, the trains will be exiting our base on this track, and they will either split off and go this way, or they will split off here and go onto this track going the opposite direction. So basically all the trains that are going to be moving along the skyway, if they're going this way, they'll be on this side, and if they're going this way, they'll be on this side. So what's going to happen is over here, it's essentially going to be the opposite. This line is going to be the entrance to our main base. So trains coming from... wait a minute, did I do this wrong? I just realized I did these incorrectly. Yeah, this needs to hook up to the far track, and this needs to hook up to this one. Oops. Okay, that's an easy fix. So what we do is just take a railway and do one of those. So if they're coming from this direction, they'll split off going this way. And then we'll grab you, and you need to hook up right there. There we go. And now that should be good, because they'd be coming from here and going there, or they'd be coming from here. And yeah. Okay, cool. So this is our train line. It's not perfectly symmetrical. I'll clean this up in a minute. But yeah, what we need to do is build the stuff going in, which means I got to get rid of all of the Christmas stuff. I got to delete all that, and then we can worry about getting one of these towers built to hook up to this line right here. Alright, I've gone ahead and gotten all the Christmas stuff cleared out, and I want to show you how to build that spirally bit over there. So, first things first, you're going to want to put down a train station and hook it up to the rail, because the station needs to be hooked up and powered in order for the rail line to actually conduct electricity so you can use your hover pack, and this is 1,000 times easier to do if you have a hover pack. So then you bring your rail line out until you get the point where you want it to start hitting the spiral. Here, we'll just, for the purposes of demonstration, let's just delete this stuff. Once you hit that point, what you want to do is grab... Oh, okay, that was close. You want to grab a rail line. You want to put down a 1 meter ramp. One of these little super short ones. One little 1 meter ramp. Grab your rail line. Start it right in the very center, and then pull it until it's just exactly, like, just until the earliest possible point you can create it. So it's about a block, it's about a foundation length and a half. So it'll be coming halfway up this ramp, and then you can just go ahead and hook that up to your proper rail line. Then grab yourself a 4 meter foundation and snap it right here, just barely underneath the height of that 1 meter foundation, and go over 3. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be your length, and then in the center here, this is essentially just going to be a big vertical pillar that will go up forever. And then all you really got to do is go in lengths of 4, like that, and then grab 1 meter foundations here, here, and here, going flowing in whatever direction you want the rails to go. So in this case, we're going counterclockwise, or actually, we're going clockwise. Last one was counterclockwise. And then, when you take the rail, it will snap pretty much perfectly to the center like this, and go all the way up. So you got your center pillar, and then 3 foundation lengths sticking out, with the ramp on the farthest length, and then you essentially just repeat this process for however high you ultimately want to end up going, and that's essentially the whole thing. It's really not that hard. And then afterwards, if you want to dress it up and make it look prettier, add maybe a structure around it or whatever, you can totally do that. But you don't have to. Like this'll. Oh. This is also way easier if you're in default when you're putting down the ramps. So there we go. You just do that. And then you find the last track, which was here. Halfway up. Right there. Right there. And right there. And that will give you a nice gradual spiral that will take your trains all the way up to however high you want them to go. All right, there we go. So we got the tower all done, and then to connect it up, we just had to bring this over. It's very hard to make like a corner here with a 1 wide foundation that actually looks good. So I decided to just stick with this, and yeah, it's not perfectly on, but like it's fine. You need at least like a 3x3 area to actually get like a 90-degree turn for these tracks, and the alternative was basically to extend these, and that just didn't look very good. Honestly, Satisfactory, if I could add one thing to the game, it would be a corner, like a triangle-shaped foundation that goes all the way down to be equal in height on all of the vertical sides with regular foundations. Because right now there are triangle foundations in the game, right? But you can see they're not, like, they all have a ramp of some sort associated with them. So, like, if you look at these ones, right? Like, I would love to just have the ability to have a foundation that goes straight down along this edge and is just triangle shaped. That would be so good, because from down below, the other ones don't really look all that great either. It's not great. So this is what I went with, and it'll be fine. So now what I need to do is actually run these train tracks all the way to where I want them to go, which is, well, all the way over here. So that's going to take a little while. Alright, my friends, well, I have run the train tracks all the way to right about here, right around where our aluminum factory is, but I haven't actually set up a train station and stuff there yet, because I figure before I do that, I should probably figure out how much stuff we can fit into this area. I know we can fit 3 stations going this way, right? Like this, we can fit exactly 3 stations, although it'll be pretty tight without really any room in between. So, although I suppose we could scoot it out a little bit more. But we can have 3 tracks in here. However, we need freight cars, or we need freight platforms for each of the freight cars that the train is going to have. And I want to figure this out here, because it doesn't make sense to, say, set up a train that can have, I don't know, 10 freight cars over at the aluminum factory, if we can only fit, say, 5 freight cars in this area right here. So I think what we want to do is basically just go ahead and get this set up here, and then we'll figure out exactly like how many platforms we need materials for and all that kind of stuff. So let's just start putting down. We've got a train station here. I may want to back this up a little bit. Let's see. Where's the center of this? Approximately here-ish is roughly the center of the room. So let's grab a freight platform. And it looks like it doesn't actually matter whether it goes this way or this way. So we probably want the outputs going towards the back, I would imagine. And then let's plop it down like right about... Oh, you can't actually... You have to daisy chain them. You can't like put it down and then hook it up later. Oh, that's a little annoying. Okay. Well, let's just start putting down train platforms, and we can adjust this as needed. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How much space do I have over there? Yeah, we'll have enough to make sure that they get... Okay, so we can basically fit like 9 platforms, give or take, into this area without worrying too much about, you know, all sorts of craziness. So let's just go... We'll put down 1 more, like that. So this will give us a total of 10, but I actually want the train stations to be back a little bit farther, so we're going to delete this train station, and we're going to delete this freight platform so that we can put a train station in front of it, and then we'll hook that back up. So we'll have a little bit of space on this end, I think. So this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 freight platforms per side. That seems pretty good. Plus the engine, the locomotive. So that should work, and it looks like this is all running through. We're going to have to delete some of these windows and all that kind of stuff, and we'll basically want to, you know, triple this, so we have, you know, another set here and another set on the other side. But at the moment, we don't even have a single train set up, so I think we'll do that kind of as we need to. For now, 1 train should probably take care of it. So how much of our resources did that go through? Not too bad. We're going to need to make more heavy modular frames before we head over to the aluminum factory, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Also, before I forget, I should probably mention, I think I'm going to move Satisfactory to like once a week, because we're kind of at the point where every project in Satisfactory is like a really big project. Like the last few episodes have all taken like 20 plus hours of just like gameplay, and that doesn't include editing or any of that kind of stuff. So like this isn't a series anymore that I can put out like super often. So I think I'm going to move it to like once a week to make room for Create, the new modded Minecraft series, and then also Isaac. Isaac is returning in January. So yeah, that's a thing. But now that we've got this bit figured out, I think I'm going to head over to the aluminum factory, and I'm going to set up a train station over there with room, once again, for 9 freight cars. Well, we're here at the aluminum factory, and I think I've got the train station here all set up. So we've got 2 more of these spiral towers on either side, and then in the back we have 1 train station with 9 freight car sections. So 1 train will be able to come here. I've also went ahead and rerouted the aluminum stuff. It used to just output to a couple of storage containers at the front of the factory, but I rerouted it here through this room of foundries. You can kind of see the belts working their way around. And then in the front, I am currently just emptying these storage containers that are here into awesome sinks because I don't want to carry them all back. I grabbed some extra aluminum stuff, but for the most part, from here on out, this is going to be train transport. So as far as the Skyway, it's very simple. Skyway comes here, And then we have these paths that connect to the two spiral towers. This one is input only, essentially, and this one is going to be output only. And it will go to the proper side of the track up there. So yeah, I mean, at this point, all we really need to do is create a train and send it on its way, I think. So I don't think I have the resources to make a train right now. Let's see. Okay, maybe we can. Actually, we totally can. We can just make a train here and send it versus making... I was thinking I was going to have to go all the way back to the main base, but actually I think we can just make a train right here. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and create an electric locomotive. We'll put that here. And then we don't need a very big train. We really only need like one thing and then 2 tracks. And let's make sure that this is in line with the thingamadoodles here, with the freight platforms. And then let's go ahead and configure this. And I think that this works. We should rename... Can we name this? Aluminum Train. We'll just call it that for now. And then edit timetable, add main base, and aluminum factory. And then one load unload has been completed. And one load unload has been completed. Okay. Or freight wagon is fully loaded, unloaded. Yeah, let's just do one load unload has been completed. So we can test this out. And then turn on... It says it is unreachable. Why would it be unreachable? Station unreachable. Why would it be unreachable? There's probably something along the way. Tell you what, let's go... why you know... Move. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe something's like not hooked up properly or whatever. Let's just edit timetable. Let's just remove these for a minute. And then this thing just won't move, huh? What? Oh, turn off self-driving. Here we go. Alright, let's see what's going on. It should be able to make it up this no problem, because it's only holding 2 freight cars. I know that there is a limit, especially when you're going up slopes and stuff, for, like, you might need multiple locomotives for one train, depending on how many freight cars you have, but I imagine with only 2 freight cars, one locomotive should do the trick. So if we work our way up, let's just see what's going on here. And we'll see why it said it's unreachable. We're moving relatively quickly, which is good. So let's just pop up. This tower is way taller than I thought. Anyway, I'm going to ride the train for a little bit and we'll see if we can find out what the problem is. Okay, that might have been it. That sign back there was pointing right. And I think we needed it to be... Or it was pointing left, which means it would have just routed us back onto the line that goes back into the factory. So I guess we just had to change that to make it face right. And there's probably some other signs along the way that might have that as well. Ah, this could also be a problem. We have a couple of spots where the train intersects with some conveyor belts that are crossing the path. Is this going to crash the train? Nope, apparently they can go through those no problem, so that's not the issue. Looks like it's just signs. Okay, yeah, we're coming up on the next batch of signs here, and I can already see this one is a potential issue. So we got to get that going, and then it should be able to reach the station, and then I'll basically just have to do the same thing going back towards the aluminum factory. Okay, bit of an interesting issue here as well. I can make it through here no problem, but then as soon as I hit the platform, it just pauses for no apparent reason. Looks like the tracks are all hooked up, and these don't have a direction that they have to go to. So I'm not sure exactly what's causing this. I'm holding down forward right now, and the train will not move. So that's not great. Oh, you know what? I think I see the problem. It looks like there's some clipping going on here. Yeah, it looks like this track. Okay. Okay, yeah. So our track ended up being placed in the wrong spot, is what it looked like. So we got to get rid of this big long track here. Grab this. We'll bring it to... Will this just snap? Yeah, there we go. So it looks like the track got a little messed up. So now... transportation. Here we go. Now if I put this thing down... I need that to be facing the opposite direction. Looks like it'll face the direction you place it from. Yeah, here we go. Now if I place this down with 2 freight cars, now I think it should work. Yeah, there we go. So it was just an issue with the track. That's what was causing the problem. So now I just got to go back through the other way. Now I am curious if it'll switch signs on its own. So in theory, I think if we turn on self-driving now and it doesn't stop, we should be good, which I just did, and we're still moving, so I think the train is now good to go. I'll have to see if it changes signs on its own. Alright, the train was indeed smart enough to change the signs on its own while it was in self-driving mode, so now we're making it back to the aluminum factory, and we should stop and then load up a couple of freight cars. It looks like, which I believe has, yeah, pretty cool animation. It's going to pick these up where all the aluminum casings and stuff are being deposited. It'll dump them onto the train, which is pretty sweet. There we go. And then once the arm things clear, I think we should automatically take off again, because I'm still in self-driving mode. Yeah, there we go. We even got a little chew. A little honk. So I think this is now working, and this should be bringing aluminum back to our base, which is pretty sweet. We will need to set up... we will need to, take the stuff from those train stations and route it to our storage room and stuff, but that should be totally doable. I think we actually have working trains. That's so cool. Oh, that's going to make life so much easier as we make factories all throughout the world. Now, I do know that once we get more than one train going, we're going to need to add some switches and things like that so that we don't have our trains running into each other. But for now, we only have the one train, so we can hold off on that, at least for the time being, and just kind of let this thing do its job. So I'm pretty excited about this. This took a while, obviously. Mostly the longest part was just creating the tracks, these towers, and then obviously running the rails all the way over here. But, you know, the nice thing about this is that that's really going to only have to be something we do once for each area. We'll only have to run the tracks once, and then we can just kind of set it up and forget about it. And especially as we expand throughout the world, we'll be able to have tracks in much closer locations. So, like, for example, if I set up a factory, say, here, we've already got, you know, tracks that run kind of in this direction. So that'll make things easier for the future. But you know what, guys? I think I am pretty much out of time for this episode, so I am going to call this one here, my friends. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.